してどこからどこまでが愛のなんだろう僕らは今日もショーケースの中で何かを待っている愛のなんだろう僕らは今日もショーケースの中で何かを待っている愛のなんだろう僕らは今日もショーケース
Let's get into it. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another beautiful... Is it Tuesday today or Wednesday? What is today? Tuesday, Wednesday? Does it even matter anymore? It is Tuesday. Damn. Tuesday. It is in fact Tuesday. What's going on, Sticksters? Hopefully you've been having a wonderful day so far. Let me turn down the music just a little bit. A little bit more. Awesome. And it's Friday? Well, it might be Friday where you're at. Cool. I don't want to waste any more time. I'm just going to go ahead and jump straight into it. We have a lot of work to do. So let's hop into it. Doing good. Took today to watch some PSG with a buddy of mine. Hell yeah, how did that go? Alright. So I did some work off stream. I did some mining off stream. And we now have a heads-up display for the town. So let me just show you that in action real quick. There is one bug that we have to fix. Yeah, there's one bug that we have to fix before we can start adding in more stuff. So I want to make sure that everything's good before we do it all. Went good, man. Just about everyone in that show is an irredeemable bastard. Nah, real shit right there, man. Real trap shit right there. Real trap shit. Trapaholics mixtape. Let me check my GitHub, by the way. Let me check my GitHub. Can you publish this, please? Oh shit, this ain't good. Let me close that. Yeah, only one at a time, please. Only one at a time. All right. Okay, so this hasn't been pushed yet, so that's fine. Is there a certain name you like to be called? You can just call me Kidde. Oh, unless you're talking about E. Okay. So, let me pause the music real quick. So, we do have footsteps working. Same thing when you sprint. As you can see in the top right, we now have a money counter. Let me add some to our guy. So that, yeah, you can call me KittehKun, either war. So now we have a money counter, just like in GTA. Okay. We can always refine it later. The bug is that we are updating the heads-up display before we even make changes. So what we need to do is in our player core. So we're updating the money at the very end. Let me think this through. So the animation is playing. Oh, you know what? I think we're updating the HUD before the changes. So what we have to do is we could turn this into a helper method. I mean, we only have to write this once, though. Mm. What exactly am I looking for here? So we get the current money. We update them. Oh, wait a second. I know what it is. Current money is 0. Player money, remove money. Then the current money equals player money dot money. Okay. Same thing right here. And then when we update the money, there we go. Wait, what? Wait, no, we don't even have to do anything like that. We can literally just say player money dot money. And then save that. We'll let that compile, and then let's see if that works. Let's see if that works. Okay, no worries. There we go. All right, let's give that a try. That should have fixed the bug now. That should fix the bug. Tomorrow or Friday, we'll be able to actually start working on like the big building. All right. When we model those buildings, that's probably what's going to take the most amount of work. Or the most amount of time, I should say. Okay. Player. Ooh. This shouldn't be... Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Once the... Once the trigger's over... So is it with the animation itself? Let's go back to the scene. That legitimately makes no sense at all. So after the animation plays, it should just... Yeah, it should deactivate itself. But then it gets reactivated. What if I remove this line? Don't want to initialize HUD. Sets it all false. Alright, let's see if that fixes it. Shit. Yeah, one of my students today was like coughing up a storm, so I might end up getting sick. Ain't even gonna lie. Alright, it's more so a test of how good my immune system is, so we'll see. The key to good health is just to sleep good, so you're fucked, brother? Oh, I know. I absolutely know that I'm straight cooker tins. You don't have to tell me twice. Yeah, wait, why does it... Those kid disease or something else? Dude, you're telling me, man. Okay, let's see what's going on here. So it's idle right now. If I add money, money changed, and it goes back to idle. So maybe I have to turn off write default. Now the only problem with write default's off. I see. So we just have to reset the position after we do the money thing. So let's do animation. Then we can do one frame where it resets itself. You know what? Yeah, sure. Let's do one frame where it resets itself. Is this the transparency? Yeah, that's transparency. Okay. Okay, let's give that a try. We'll also need to change it for you as well. I think I messed up the dope sheet here. Yeah, I did. Alright, let's give it a try. Should fix the bug. Okay. Fingers crossed. That doesn't make any sense. Alright, let's see how this is working. What game you making? This is gonna be called City Hustle. It's gonna be my third game created for VRChat. Is there a transition on this? There is. Okay. So let's take a look at that now. Ah, okay, so there's just a transition on it. That's why it's bugging out. We want it to be instantaneous. Yeah, if you want to see some of my other work, you can definitely check out Raiders of Haven, which is a popular game world in Japan, or you can check out my most recent project, Crimson Streets. I haven't updated the projects in a long while, though, but people still play him to this day, and I think we're on like the 9th or like on the 8th or 9th page in popularity on VRChat. So I was like, okay, hell yeah. We like that. We like those here. Okay, so for our animators, we just need to make sure that we don't have a transition. You need to have a transition going back. Exit time of 1, transition of 0, right default off here, and no transition. Awesome. Okay, that should work now. Can I finally push this code? Yes, no, maybe so? Alright, well, I'll figure that out later. Oh, I guess I could do it right here, too. Well, let's just do an initial commit here. It's gonna try to go through all 1,000 files, isn't it? Yep, yes it is. Alright, no worries. Alright, player HUD is done, or at least the money is done. Okay, we need fields for energy and... We should do bars instead. Yeah, we should do bars for the energy and whatnot. So we can actually work on these scripts. We could also add a jump sound to... that's too much polish, though. Can't be polishing it right now. There we go, 15,000 should be okay. Let's try 1,000 actually. 2,000. Editor will lag like crazy, but that's okay. Okay. How do I want to do the health system? I could, how do I want to do the health system? You know what? Alright, I know how to do it. So, KittehKun Studios, scripts, player, right click, create, U#. We'll call this player health. Alright, so that's gonna compile. We don't actually need it to compile right now. Alright, this is gonna be a local script, so sync mode none. Cool. Private float. Let's make it an integer. Yeah, we don't actually need to make it interesting. Base max health. Have a constant max over heal equals 50. Maximum amount of health that can be over the base. Let's not do that. We'll say max amount of health into medkits. Energy drinks, food, etc. Okay. This can just be called player health. Doesn't actually need to be anything crazy. Okay. Region of management. Alright, we need an add health method. We also need a remove health. And we also... Nah, we don't want to... Yeah, no, we don't want to... We don't want to do anything like that. Do we want a Boolean? Yeah. Is dead. Check if the player... Player state. Public int health. Okay. Let's get a log method. Okay. Alright. If debug mode. If not debug mode, return. Gonna make another serialized field, private key, false. Let's give it a header as well. Okay. We also need respawn points. So wait. Header. Player settings. Oh, I meant spawn points. Cool. Networking local player respawn. Wait, I could just do that? Oh, okay. Player. You know, we don't actually need that. Actually, that's okay. Okay. We have a reference to the local player. When you die, is dead is true. And then we'll say local player mobilized is true. Player has died. Respawn. Respawning at hospital. Okay. We only need one transform, and we're just gonna call this hospital spawn point. There's a spawn here upon death in the field. Need. Player has died. Okay. Send custom event delayed seconds. Name of respawn 5 seconds. Let's see. Make an FNF game? I'm okay. There's already enough FNF games as is. The player will get nice game step. What do you mean? Player will get an animation. Let's see. Wait, actually, hold on. Respawn. Nice. That's literally all the code that I want to make. Thank you, autocomplete. You read my mind. Player health plus equals amount. Is that meant to be a step bro joke? I guess so. It's pretty ass, ain't gonna lie. If the player health is greater than the max total health, player health is equal to the max health. Okay. Havoc void, add health. Let's add another overloaded method here. We'll allow overheal. Wait. We could just make this all one thing. Allow overheal's false. And then we'll just say, if not allow overheal and player health is greater than the base health, do not allow overheal if the player is already at base health. Else, player health plus equals the amount. No, let's make one simple and then one complex one. That way we can use either or. So int amount will allow overheal. I swear, I'm gonna go post on YouTube chat one of these days. Hey man, don't you just love YouTube chat? Oops. Don't you just love it? If allow overheal, player health plus equals the amount. If the player health is greater than max health, player health equals the max total health. Wait, what? Player health plus equals the amount. Oh, I see. You have to find a way to figure out if they're overhealed already. Actually, I think it makes sense to just have one method then, if that's the case. Add health. If allow overheal, then... No, hold on. We need to check to make sure... We need to check to make sure that, it's false. So, if the player health is already greater than or equal to base max health, and we don't allow the overheal, then just return. Otherwise, we'll add health and check to see if they're under the max total health. Okay, let's see if that can be explained back to me. But only if the player's current health is below the maximum allowed health. If the player's health but exceed the maximum allowed health, it is capped at the maximum. The allow overheal parameter determines whether the player can exceed the base max health. Okay, so if I, the player, eat a food item for plus 10 HP, but I'm already at 112, well, an overheal not enabled. It's not allowed for the food. Do I stay at 112 or do I reset? You stay at 112. Awesome. Nice. We can save that. Remove health method should be fine too. Wait. If the player health is less than 0, player health is equal to 0, and if the player health is equal to 0, and is not dead, then die. What's going on, Mississippi? Mr. Gonzo. How you doing, man? Managed to shoot any more deer lately? Any more bucks? Alright, we need an animator also. Respawn points. Let's see. Let's see. High animation. Wait a sec. Closing. We're controlling black box animation on death. Respawn. There are players. There are players. This will look desktop will look like a fade. Undead respawn. Okay. Private cont string I underscore animator trigger. And we're gonna say fade to black. And then private const string I animator underscore reset fade to clear. I guess it doesn't really even matter. You know what? We'll just trigger it fade to black. Start death, I should just say. We're playing death animation. Animator must have a send custom event. End death. Event at the animation. Perfect. So it starts the death, waits for it fully closes, and then it... How do I want to do this? So the animator will start the death, the eyes will close, and then it will open if it'll trigger. Oh, you know what? I got an idea. Trigger start. Starting the death animation sequence. Death animation sequence. Alright, there we go. So it'll start the death and then it'll trigger the animation. So it'll go idle to trigger, and then it'll wait on the trigger. And then once we are ready, we'll set the trigger to the other animation. So it'll go back to end death, and then it'll loop back to idle. Oh my god, you're a genius, Kitteh. Holy shit. Oh my god, someone fucking pat me on the head or some shit. Jesus. Fade to black. I could also just... Is it possible to get the world speed? So there's a certain condition here that can occur that I'm thinking about. So I'm thinking either I can immobilize the player or make a move extremely slowly. And I think I'm just gonna immobilize them. Just to keep it easy. Yeah, that's fine. Start the death animation. And then... set the trigger. So if is dead is true, then we can say private void update. We'll just do a simple timer. Private float. Respawn timer. Private const float. Respawn timer. Private float. Respawn timer. 10 seconds before player respawns at hospital after death. Yes. Okay. For starting death, starting respawn timer and sequence. Alright, if the player is already dead, then return. Preventing multiple death triggers. So we'll say if they are dead, or if they're not dead, kill the player, immobilize the player, start the death animation, and then is dead is true. So this set player state to dead, which will start respawn timer. Respawn timer is equal to our respawn timer. So then we can say if the player is dead, respawn timer minus equals delta time. Start to fade to clear animation and respawn. Okay. Player health is equal to max health. Actually, hold on. Max overheal. Private const int on respawn health. I'm gonna say like 80 HP. So when they respawn, this will be set to on respawn health. Udon call event methods. Right, void on player respawn. Die. Oh wait, this'll send everyone back to lobby. So if the player is equal to the local player, die. The trigger. Okay. So that will do the timer. We'll say player health manual events. Or player health manual subscriber events. Public void on player death. Wait, how do I do this manual subscription event? Because I can't use an event scheduler on an Udon Sharp, so let me check. Okay. Okay. Respawn manager handles player death. Wait, That's actually insane. Okay, hold on. I get it now. I get it now. So this is header. It should be called oh, excuse me. I could just reference the player code too. Alright, this is gonna be a little bit difficult. Bless, thank you, thank you. Much thanks, much thanks. This is gonna be a little hard architecturally, because I can't use an event system. I don't think so, at least. Let me see. Udon Sharp events. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see. So player health has a... Wait, no, it doesn't. Hmm. Player takes fatal damage. Player health, handle health. Player core, handle player death. Which applies money penalty. Reset the player needs. Update HUD automatically play. Penalty sound log death info. Player health notifies other listeners. Wait, okay, that makes genuinely no sense. Okay. How would that work? Okay, so I think what we're going to do... Alright, I think that'll work. Okay. This is the... Oh. Alright, this should work. Since we technically can't use anything like that, so... Listener and player health. On player death. Listen. Nah. Wait, actually, what happens if I do that? Unity, serialize field, const. Ah, okay, you cannot serialize const fields. It's because const fields are compile time constants, meaning their values are fixed. Gotcha. No worries. Ah. Okay. Hand coordination methods. Listener methods. This event is called from the player health module. Player dies. Upon death, it's a method and modules. Player money to move money. There's player money. Constant. Cost of lease. We'll do $1,000. Okay. We'll implement it like they do in GTA. Like, if you have above $300,000 or some shit like that, then, like, you know, it will be a lot. Hmm. How do I want to do this exactly? I could just make it a flat rate, call it a day. Death, method one. It'll calculate. Ah, okay. Send custom event on player death. Player core on player death. I gotcha. That makes so much more sense now. See, this would be penalties. Well, we can do this. So we'll actually go down to our on player death. Log that the player has died. Resetting. Oops. Player has died. Penalties. Get the player money. Get the player money module. It's not equal to null. And int penalty. We'll say calculate death penalty with the player money dot money. Let's make a helper method. Region. Helper methods. Private int. Current money is less than or equal to 0. Okay. Let's see. Tier 1. Like $50. Oh, this should be an int. $50 for there's less than. We'll do $20. Yeah, we'll have 5 tiers actually. That seems reasonable. Okay. Penalty is 0. The current money is less than $100. So 100,000. Int.max value. Holy cannoli. Okay. So it's less than tier 1 threshold. Tier 2 threshold. It's a tier 3 threshold. 4 threshold, and then we don't actually need this. Yeah, this looks even better. math f dot minimum penalty does not see current. Okay, that looks good. So we need to calculate the death penalty and then remove that, update the money, and yeah, I think that's it actually. The animator we actually don't need. Actually, we do need. Hmm. All right. All right, not bad, not bad. Yo, what's going on, Notez? How you doing? Alright, so this will notify. Alright, let's go ahead and set it up right now then. Example notes. Example notes, gotcha. Interesting name you got there. How you doing today? You chilling? Alright, let's create an empty. We're gonna call this our player health. Player health. Respawn point we don't actually have. On death, on player death listeners, we'll need our player core. Yes. Which has our player core script. You're a troll gang? Congrats, man. Congratulations. Player core is what we need. Udon behavior, so it's fine. It'd be stupid if we had two of them anyways. Yo, example notes coming in with a subscription. Welcome to the Enterprise, where our employees, or I should say our undercover peoples, are on vacation 24/7, 7-Eleven, I-95 South 1472 Columbus Sail the Ocean Blue. Welcome, welcome in. Okie dokie. So we send a custom event. Calls this. Okay, that should work actually. Hold on. That should actually work. That VS Code? Yeah. Yeah, this one's VS Code. Super lightweight. I don't need everything from Visual Studio right now, so we just need a good code editor with lots of it. Wait, the eye animation. We really only need the game objects. Private game object. Eye animation object. And then we can actually move this. And in our start method, we'll get the component, and that should work. And then our update method, we'll just say move animation, move eye animation up. What this will do so let's see. The local player is equal to null, or if the AI animation's null, return. That's fine. Head position, get tracking data to the head, get the rotation slightly in front of the player's view, and do the rotation. Yep, that works. And then we can change this to set position and rotation, which should work. Perfect. So now that means that we need to make a what you call it? Like an eye closing thing. How do I want to do this? I can go into Blender and model the sphere. I guess I could just do... How do I want to do that, actually? If you need a thumbnail artist, hit me up. Alright, I got you. What's your, you do commissions? You got a page I can take a look at? For free? Well, guess I'll take... Do you have, like, examples I can take a look at? I wish I could use coroutines, that'd be awesome. I have taken a look. I've taken a look, Sticky. Maybe, but it's not my best work. I rush for my best stuff and take my time for others. Wait, so why wouldn't you, why would you want to rush your other stuff then? Good work takes time. Alright, let's take a look now. Okay, yeah, we'll need to... I just realized something. Because I don't treat myself good? Okay. I'll say this then. I will say this then. If you don't treat yourself good, then, like, how are other people expected to, So, just to give you some background, right? I am I do freelancing stuff on Fiverr, right? Now, I'll ask you this. Would you buy from me if I said that I rush my work? I rush my best work? But for others, I'll be, you know, I'll take my time. Right? No, you wouldn't. Right? So, just make sure to take your time with your work. Good work takes time. I mean, shit. If you're gonna pay someone, they're gonna pay you for your expertise. That just seems like an unnecessary risk. To me, that just seems like an unnecessary risk. Like, I would never want to buy from someone like that. Right? Because on one hand, right, they might have, like, the best work possible, but if they say that they're rushing their work, then, like, you know, that, me as a buyer, that just, you know, that doesn't, that just turns me off of it, you know what I'm saying? What's going on, Cantinium Dweller? Welcome back. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, if I was a buyer, like, we'll put it in even more simpler terms, right? Let's say you came to my store, right? And you're trying to buy one of the meat, like a cut of meat. I was rushing to cut this meat, but if you'd like me to, you know, for you, I'll cut the meat just the way you want it. Well, you're not gonna wanna buy anything from me. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna wanna buy anything from... I'd rather go to a different store, you know? To me, that just seems kind of goofy. Okay, so we actually need to go into Blender and animate this one. Blender. Our lovely Blender. Imagine you're looking for somebody to build your house and one of the builders says, "I rushed my work. You really want to